everyone, I am here today with a reread review of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. And I've got to just say right now, while I'm getting comfortable, that this was just such a surprise to me, because if I was to rank all my Harry Potter books before this reread, this wouldn't have been near the top of my favourites list. It wouldn't have been at the bottom, it would have been like mid-range, whereas now this is towards the top for me. I just absolutely adored this. And of course I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. So what's making me want to do a reread review of this? First of all, I just got so much more from this than what I was kind of expecting. I'd only read this once back when it first came out, and I'd kind of almost forgot about it along the way. I think it's quite easy to forget the storyline of these books when you watch the films more often than you read the books, because that's what's happened in my case. And so it'd been ages since I'd read this. I just adored the actual storyline in this. I'd forgot just how fantastic it is to start learning things and really putting the pieces together, because this is the book where Dumbledore starts really explaining to Harry, you know, everything that is going to be required of him in order to sort of get Voldemort defeated, basically. And this is just such a wonderful story, because you've got so much more than just what happens in the castle in this. You've got Harry learning about what happened in the past, about what is going to be expected of him in the future, about how he might not live for the future, because you learn about the whole, this continues on from the whole Order of the Phoenix thing. Harry knows that he's going to have to finish Voldemort off at some point. And Dumbledore, I love Dumbledore anyway, but his presence in this book is so much more than any of the other books. So you really get to spend a lot of time with Dumbledore. I also enjoyed seeing Snape again in this. It was just great to see that continue. One thing that does annoy me about this one is I'd really forgot how drama-filled the characters are by this book, because this is like where they all suddenly realise they're teenagers, and it's like, oh, I fancy so-and-so, and oh, but you're not giving blah-de-blah the attention, and it's just like some great big massive drama session. Everyone's just falling out with everyone. Everyone's really touchy, everyone's just full of too many hormones, basically, and that is the one annoying thing about this one, I would say. In case you haven't yet read this book, I really would stop watching now before I spoil you further, because I'm now going to talk about the impact of the end of this book. And that was, of course, the whole lead up of this book is to Dumbledore's death. So we learn early on in the book that Malfoy has been given some sort of mission by Voldemort. And I'd remembered that this mission was obviously to kill Dumbledore. But looking at this in a different way, like following the story through, even from the very beginning, it was so obvious this time around that Snape was actually one of the good guys. Snape, I love you. And that actually Snape is trying to help Malfoy by also helping Dumbledore. So obviously if Snape kills him, it means that Malfoy doesn't get involved in any of the dark stuff, because at the end of the day Malfoy is not as bad as he seems. And it also means that then Snape can kind of control where things go from there on out, whereas if Malfoy was to kill Dumbledore, it would lead to a whole shit heap landing on him. I really loved the whole Snape helping Malfoy but not really, and really helping Dumbledore, and like looking for the clues throughout the book. There were so many clues that Snape was not as he seemed. And Harry continues to question Dumbledore throughout, like, I don't understand how and why you trust him. And Dumbledore's faith is just there to the very end. And I loved that. And I think one of the scenes that just broke me the most from this, and I don't feel like it broke me as much back then, I don't remember crying over it anyway, is not that Dumbledore died. I mean, that was heartbreaking. But the thing that really made me cry my eyes out more than anything was Fawkes the Phoenix, and how he was just so heartbroken at Dumbledore's death, and how he was going around the castle like singing, well, squawking this like death song, and that just broke me into pieces. I absolutely adored that. I think that Fawkes is a really kind of underrated character that I don't think I paid enough attention to in previous kind of reads. But this reread throughout the entire series, I've just been like, oh, Fawkes, like I love Fawkes, and it's nice to kind of see how much of a constant he was throughout the books. So this one you get plenty of lessons, as you do with a lot of the other ones, but this one a lot of lessons, but without any pressure, because they're not studying for their owls in this one. They're not studying for their newts exactly. It's more like preparation for newts. So there's no major pressure in this, but all the same you just get so much insight into their school year, how much work they're having to put in because the workload is insane, and that is another thing that I really loved about this book. I think I'm just waffling and gushing at this point, so I will leave that there, but I'm going to film a ranking soon of all my Harry Potter books and what the rank used to be versus what they are now, because a lot of the books have really changed their position, and this is one of them. This has become one of my firm favourites of the series, and I think it's really underrated. I don't think people often mention this one as one of their favourites, and that's a shame because this one is possibly one of the best. It's got a little bit of action, a little bit of drama, not too much drama, a lot of plot development and character development and just general setting the scene and giving you clues that you don't pick up on the first time you're reading. I think that that's the most crucial thing in this, and it's so clever because I didn't spot the clues when I was younger, and yet this time rereading I was looking for them and I was like, oh, there's a clue that Snape's not really bad, and yeah. I love this book. So thank you so much for watching this reread review. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe by clicking the image of me if you want to see more book reviews and other bookish content from me, and I will see you soon. Bye bye!